For over half a century, the United States military held an absolute, undisputed monopoly on the concept of airborne early warning and control. During the Cold War, the Soviet Union tried desperately to match American radar capabilities, but they never came close to the sheer numbers and raw technological edge of the U.S. fleet. However, since the collapse of the Soviet Union, a quiet but staggering shift has occurred. While the United States slowly began to downsize and shed its fleet of specialized radar platforms, China did the exact opposite. Beijing launched a breathtaking military modernization program, expanding its own fleet at a relentless pace. Today, the reality on the ground has completely flipped. China now operates significantly more AWACS aircraft than the United States. And what is truly alarming for Western strategists is that, on average, these Chinese platforms are younger, more modern, and technically more capable than their American counterparts. This video will break down exactly how this happened, what the real numbers are, and why this massive imbalance might change the future of global air warfare forever. To truly understand why this numerical gap is sending shockwaves through defense circles, you have to realize exactly what an AWACS plane does on the modern battlefield. Since the dawn of jet warfare in the 1940s, fighter aircraft have been limited by their onboard sensors. Even today, today's most advanced stealth fighters feature powerful radars, but they suffer from a fatal flaw. They lack a 360-degree view. They can only see what is directly in front of them. This is where the Airborne Early Warning and Control system comes in. Flying at high altitudes, these massive aircraft act as a supreme, omniscient eye in the sky. Their enormous radar arrays look in every single direction at all times, burning through atmospheric interference to detect non-stealthy targets from well over 500 kilometers away. Inside the plane, teams of highly trained military air controllers interpret a live, unified map of the entire theater of war. This map is then beamed directly into the cockpits of friendly fighter jets via encrypted data links. In short, an AWACS turns a disorganized group of fighter jets into a perfectly synchronized killer network. Without them, even the best Air Force is fighting half-blind. The core of the problem for the United States is that its traditional airborne radar spine is quite literally rotting away from old age. The U.S. Air Force relies on the iconic E-3 Sentry, a massive radar platform built on the ancient Boeing 707 commercial airliner airframe, powered by engine technology that dates back to the 1950s. Because these planes are so incredibly old, finding spare parts has become an absolute nightmare, causing the active fleet availability to plummet to a disastrous 50%. For years, the Pentagon knew a replacement was urgently needed, but decades of budget mismanagement delayed the process. The situation became critical in 2022 when General Kenneth Wilsback, commander of U.S. Pacific Air Forces, openly admitted that the E-3's legacy radar capabilities were no longer enough to successfully track China's modern stealth aircraft, like the J-20 fighter, at a safe distance. In a desperate move, the Air Force began rapidly retiring its broken E-3 fleet, leaving a mere 15 aircraft in service today. To make matters worse, a planned multi-billion-dollar contract to acquire the newer E-7 Wedgetail as a replacement was unexpectedly canceled by the Defense Secretary due to extreme cost overruns and massive schedule delays, leaving the Air Force in a highly vulnerable transition period. While the Air Force struggles, the true operational backbone of America's early warning capabilities currently rests on the shoulders of the United States Navy and its fleet of E-2 Hawkeye aircraft. The Navy currently operates around 75 of these specialized, twin-turboprop platforms. Now, on the outside, the Hawkeye's design looks historic, but the current E-2D variant is a highly sophisticated, newly built piece of machinery. The Pentagon has systematically upgraded these carrier-based aircraft, retrofitting the entire fleet with advanced mid-air refueling probes that allow them to stay on station for up to 10 grueling hours. Operating at altitudes around 30,000 feet, an E-2D can spot low-flying threats over the ocean from 400 kilometers away. However, because these planes are designed to operate strictly from aircraft carriers, they are heavily constrained by their physical size. The E-2D only has enough physical space inside its cramped fuselage to house 3 or 4 radar operator stations. Compared to a massive land-based radar plane that can hold dozens of controllers, the naval Hawkeye simply lacks the sheer command and control capacity required to manage a massive, multi-theater air campaign against a near-peer adversary. Meanwhile, Beijing went into overdrive. By analyzing factory satellite data and tracking gaps in serial numbers, experts confirm China has built a massive fleet. With at least 80 heavily documented fixed-wing aircraft, and potentially over 100 when including carrier-based models and radar helicopters, China took the lead. And China isn't just winning the numbers game. They are winning the tech war. Their core fleet, consisting of the KJ-500 and the brand new KJ-700, utilizes advanced AESA radar arrays. Operating in lower frequency bands, these modern Chinese systems are specifically optimized to detect and track Western stealth targets. So, why did the US military recently cancel its next-gen E-7 radar plane program? Because the Pentagon is making a massive, classified bet. They are moving the entire airborne radar architecture into outer space. They are deploying a vast network of hundreds of low-orbit radar satellites to monitor the skies globally. If this space-based surveillance network becomes fully operational, traditional, slow-flying AWACS planes will become nothing but massive, easy targets in a modern conflict. China built the ultimate radar fleet just as the US decided to change the entire game. What do you think? Let me know in the comments, hit subscribe, and see you next time.